We're in conversation with Raymond Devdas, the CEO of DayThree, on the Contact Management Center business. Hi Raymond.
Hi, Debs.
Nice to have you here on Brand Malaysia. I wanted to ask you, we've always waiting to ask you how you entered this business. How did you start this business?
So I stumbled upon this business in 2009. Was involved in many other businesses before that, but primarily it was technology driven. And really it was just by chance that I stumbled upon this business in 2009 and started very small. We started with first about almost 20-30 people, and today here we are, close to 2,000 people.
And this, I just need to qualify that this is a Malaysian business.
Absolutely.
Because Brand Malaysia speaks to Malaysian businesses.
It's 100% Malaysian owned.
Yeah. You must be a great motivator to keep 2,000 people happy.
Well, this is the business of keeping people happy. We always tell our people, there's always a calling that we sort of tell our people, tell your buddies you make people happy for a living. People think that it's just a simple call center.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't realize the weight or the problem or the issues that someone else is facing on the other sides of the line. So it's always difficult to keep people motivated when 80% of the time that people interact with you are already irate.
Yeah.
So it requires a lot of motivation, and it requires us to keep our people motivated, highly motivated.
Yeah. How many big or small players are there in Malaysia in this industry?
There are about 230 plus MSC status companies today in Malaysia that in the contact center space and employing close to about 50,000 people, and this is just the MSC status companies. And really, if you add on the captive players, the banks, the telcos, the other B2C companies that also operate their own contact centers, we have close to about 450,000 people in Malaysia who are involved in the business of taking care of customers. And that's what we do, contact centers. We are actually in the business of taking care of customers.
Yeah. You're also the president of the Malaysian Association.
Contact Center Association of Malaysia.
The contact.
Yes.
Yeah. And how long is that tenure for?
This for 2 terms. I'm in the middle of my first term actually.
In this business, since we are in Malaysia and we're talking to Brand Malaysia ambassadors such as yourself, does Malaysia contribute regionally in this arena at all?
It does. You'll be surprised that as an industry, we today support close to 47 different languages and dialects.
Yeah.
And that's one of the primary focus areas for Malaysian contact center companies. That today we've become a multilingual hub, servicing a global clientele, and you name it. Today we do work as an industry for major brand names across the world.
It's now a client walks in, and typically who are they, and what do they expect of you?
Typically, most of these clients, there is this front end job, there is the middle end job, and also the back end job. And a lot of companies choose to focus on the front end, which is wanting to serve their customers better. And a lot of the back end processes that they would like to give it to specialists. For example, data entry. That's very very menial work. And then up the higher value chain, you talk about how do you activate a customer, how do you onboard a customer into your program, and what we do is in the area of customer experience. We try to improve customer experience for many of our customers, and that's one part of BPO work that we do. Of course, in rest of the world and including in Malaysia, there are various other BPOs. A line of business that we handle, whether it's finance and accounting, whether it's HR, payroll processing, recruitment processing, and many parts of BPO.
So short of the company who is your client hiring 1,000 people to do this job on their own, they would outsource this service, this process management to you.
Yep.
And you're the call center who works for them. There's a lot of confidentiality involved. And to each of them, you have to learn a new mantra, isn't it? A company vision that you need to know. So does this require a lot of training?
So, I think 2 things. Number one is that, confidentiality is at the very core of our business. We handle a lot of data. Literally we have, information about a lot of people stored everywhere in our organization, and therefore we are certified. We are PCI DSS certified. We have all the IT compliance certification.
Yeah.
And that is, really this business is about trust, because people do not just outsource to you if they can't depend on your security systems.
Yeah.
So that becomes very very important, and as such, accordingly, we do work for many clients, and what we try to do is we work in partnership with these clients. Therefore, we try to assimilate our culture, part of our line of businesses, and we assimilate our culture to the culture of the client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have
a lot of
specific
training.
teams working on specific clients?
Absolutely
Or,
right.
or does one team also, work on?
No, we have dedicated executives working for dedicated clients.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Because the client, whether it's a bank or whatever, a retail center may want that.
Yep. But that is the case. It's always dedicated because the needs are very different from one organization to another.
So in a call center's hand, what may seem to a guy who's ordering pizza across the street, there's a lot of information, data that you possess.
Information, a lot of data, number one. We also need to learn a lot of the products. You just gave an example of pizza, right?
Yeah.
The agent will need to be trained on all types of pizzas that's available, that's being provided. So we have clients where you have to learn 75 different products. You have to learn 80 different products before you can even handle the interaction with the client.
Yeah. How do you prioritize the skill sets? I mean, you must be employing a lot of people. Young people.
The profiling becomes very important. The candidate profiling becomes very important right before we engage with any of our clients and we begin to work with them. We try to understand the type of people that we need to be able to perform certain tasks.
Sure.
And that happens right from the very beginning, from the identifying the talent all the way to training them and onboarding them into the job. So yes, you're right. Different clients have different needs, and therefore we have different hiring profiles for different clients. Yeah.
Sure. Has the business grown to a degree that are you involved with every client?
We are the fastest growing local BPO company, I must say. In Malaysia, we have local BPO companies operating here. We also have foreign BPO companies operating here. And yeah, we are one of the largest, and we are growing very fast.
Could this be a growth area for Malaysia?
One of the biggest fallacy that people think that people associate us with call centers.
Yeah.
Call center is something that that happened in the 90s when people used to reach out to their service providers only by way of a phone line.
Yep.
Right. But today that has changed because a consumer would want to reach out to their service providers in many ways and forms, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's social media platform, emails, through chatbots. You may even physically walk into the showroom. So today the mode of communication between a consumer and a service provider has manifold, comes in manifold. So therefore, it's no longer a call center because today it's what we call it is a contact center, number one. Number two is that you also need to consolidate all this form of information that is coming through these various channels, and we call it omni-channel. And having the single view or single window to be able to see all your interactions with your service provider today requires you to work with a huge amount of data.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest difference between a call center as it was in 1990s and today is where we are in the area of contact center, and we are evolving from contact center to what we call now an intelligent solution center. Because now, after having all this data, now I'm also now working with bots. I'm also working with artificial intelligence. I'm using this data for machine learning and being able to provide a more customized and more personalized relationship with the consumer.
So you're able to really look at a prospect and look at his every leaning and to answer his query that he has about anything that he wants.
Absolutely. We've always strived on the fact that we've sold ourselves as a multilingual hub, and therefore this has been our niche factor. We know there are other countries that compete in this space, neighboring countries in Southeast Asia, but the niche that we have created for ourselves is today that we are able to provide multilingual hub. 47 different languages. So a typical client would be some MNC operating in Asia Pacific wanting support from 8 or 10 different languages. So we have sort of focused ourselves and grown our niche in that space. But I think going forward, as we all know, digital has become so important. So and today with the ability to work from anywhere, you really don't physically need to have people from foreigners to work in a single location. Therefore, it becomes a little bit more competitive now.
Do you think, Raymond, that Malaysia, from your window and viewpoint, are we on a threshold to a new digital culture?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I think, even if you look at our organization today and where we were 10 years ago, today we try to automate a lot of things, the things like robotics process automation, blockchain, and even now machine learning and AI. These are things that we incorporate in running our business processes for our clients.
Are we ahead of the curve in Malaysia?
I don't think we are behind the curve. Neither do I think that we are well ahead. But I think organizations today have learned the importance of wanting or having to embrace this digital culture.
Yep.
And and I will say that the contact center industry and the BPO industry is at the forefront of embracing all these digital cultures.
That's very good news. Without diverging secrets, would you care to name 3 mega trends in the contact center industry?
Well, I think number one, I will say that what's become so obvious during this whole pandemic period is cloud infrastructure has become so important. The ability to work from home. Many organizations, many industries, the technology has been there for the last 10 years. It's not that we were not able to work from home, but because of the mindset, the fear of information being exploding in the market, we have decided that we're not going to work from home. But today that has become so big, it's become so important. So I think cloud infrastructure is one of them. The use of data, dark data, we handle so much of information, and we have so much of data, clients' data today. And there are also a lot of hidden data in some of these processes that we don't realize. We call it the dark data. I think the usage of dark data is going to become even more important as computing power improves. I think those are some of the things that we will see as a trend going forward. The other thing is also robotics process automation. A lot of work, repetitive work, rule-based work that you needed an army of people to do today could be done by software bots.
So there's a lot of disruption in the workplace then.
Absolutely.
But while it can be said that you enhance processes, you're also a disruptor in the workforce because you take away people's jobs. Would you like to comment on that?
Well, I don't think we're going to take away people's jobs, right? If you look at the 70s when we moved away from the abacus to the calculator, at that point in time that was AI, right? And people had the same fear. And today we are working with different technologies. I think the key thing here is not displacing people. The key important thing is to be able to work with these new technologies.
Yeah.
I think the way we do work will change.
Sure.
Because we have these technologies with us today.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it's going to displace people, right? I think this was the fear that we've had from the first industrial revolution till now to the fourth industrial revolution. We're still having the same fear.
Sure.
But I think the human mind is so powerful today that we learn to adapt.
Sure.
So this is not going to displace jobs.
But with robotic process automation, etc., and this being a competitive advantage, surely there must be some fear in people's minds and industries that.
Well, I always say this. It's not the automations that is going to force you to lose your job. It's your complacency. If you are complacent, if you're not willing to learn new skills, if you're not, the future is being able to work alongside these technologies.
Sure.
And that may require you to learn a little bit of coding. It may require you to learn a little bit of programming.
Yeah.
But that is the new norm.
Yes.
And if you're complacent about it,
yes,
then yes, you will be sitting at home.
Wonderful. It's good to see Malaysia thrive in this arena. We wish the association all the best, and we thank DayThree and yourself for talking to us. It's been such a pleasure for Malaysia to awaken to this new industry that's reshaping most of our world. Thank you, Raymond, for talking to us, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.